What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out some more footage of the new KS-1, which is the new rifle that the British Royal Marines are going to be using from here on out instead of the SA-80, which is a nice thing to hear, although the SA-80 did get expanded upon and ended up becoming a relatively decent rifle at the end of its lifespan. The KS-1, I feel like I've got a lot to talk about it. Now, there's a bit of footage here. It's a 7-minute video with Trey Knight. I don't know who this person is, Trey Knight, but apparently he's pretty well known in the gun community. It says, Trey Knight shows defense review owner/editor-in-chief of the new KS-1 Tactical AR-15 combined SBR with their new 3D printed PRT reduced back suppressor, pressure suppressor at SHOT Show 2024. This is by a channel called David Crane. He's only got 331 subscribers, but this video blew up on his channel with 128,000 views. Go over to this David Crane, give it a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We're going to watch this. I've got a lot to say about it. If you want to watch the original video, it's going to be down in the description as it always is. I've got a lot to say about this video, and I've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the KS-1, and I am actually really excited. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Links down below to all my usual stuff. I've unfortunately started to peel. I got burnt over the weekend in the sun, and now my skin is starting to peel, unfortunately, which really sucks, but it is what it is. All right, let's pull this up. Let me get rid of this video real quick. A few things I want to say. I've done some research into the KS-1, and there's some interesting things I want to talk about, right? There was this video that Armed Forces News put up, which is, it came out around the same time as I did the other. I did another video not long ago where they were talking about the rifle. It came out around the same time as that. But there's something here that I wanted to talk about. Here on Reddit, someone is saying, is there any difference between the KS-1 and the SR-15? Now, I didn't know that there was another rifle that was similar to this. I don't know much about rifles. In fact, it's kind of ironic that I'm getting into learning about this stuff now that I've left the United States and I'm in the UK, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Now, the SR-15, I recognized that, and I was like, where have I seen that before? Garand Thumb did a video on the SR-15 titled "The Best Fighting Carbine Ever Made?" ? Knight's Armament SR-15. So for him to make a video like this, whether he thinks that it is the best carbine ever made or not, the fact that he's questioning whether it is or not gives me a lot of hope and excitement into this new rifle, and it makes me think that they've actually thought about it, unlike the SA-80 when that first came in. They've actually thought about it, and I might watch this video in the future if you want me to, about the SR-15, especially considering that it's going to be relatively similar to the KS-1. But I wanted to watch this first, and I want people in the comment section, if you know much about this rifle and this company, what's it called? Knights. What's it called again? Knight's Armament. If you know much about this company, oh, it's literally there behind him. Let me know in the comments. Is it pretty much a one-for-one with the KS-1 and the SR-15? From what I've seen online, from what people have said online here. So let's look at the comments here real quick, actually. Is there any difference? Good luck finding one. I believe the Royal Marines have just adopted it. What's the difference? The KS-1 lower is true AMBI with red side bolt hold open. The SR-15 only has red right side bolt release. So let me say that again, because this is a lot. The KS-1 lower is true AMBI, or ambidextrous, with right side bolt hold open. The SR-15 only has right side bolt release. The barrel is heavy profile dimpled chrome lined CHF 13.7. So the barrel is different to the SR-15. The URX 6 rail no longer has the integrated barrel nut like the URX 4. So let me click on that real quick. If anyone wants to look at that, you can do. Right there. The new system with 2 distinct barrel nuts. It also has the same anti-rotation piece as the whatever duty rail slot into the upper receiver, blah, 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 blah. So people are saying it's pretty much the same. Look, it's cool for sure, but unfortunately very, very little benefits over the SR-15. So from what I'm seeing, it's pretty much the same rifle. Pretty much thereabouts. So let's watch this and let's see what this guy's got to say about it.
Rolling? All right, you're watching DefenseReview.com. I'm here with Trey Knight of Knight's Armament, and he's going to show us the new KS-1 and just sort of take us through it a little bit. And so, all right, tell us about it.
It's been a while since we've done one of these things.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start at the muzzle and work our way back. First thing you'll see is our new suppressor.
So suppressor is something that comes with it. I have noticed this a lot on recent rifles. The new SIG that the US is adopting is getting the same thing where it pretty much comes with a suppressor. I like it as long as it doesn't impede on the abilities of the rifle in general. Whether the Royal Marines will have this fitted 24/7 is another question. I really don't know. That's up to them to decide, to be honest with you. I kind of like the idea that it's got a suppressor that fits it perfectly.
This is our new printed technology, additive manufacturing suppressors. It's the PRT, so this is a reduced back pressure suppressor. You can see it's quite small. And this was really a flash reducer. It reduces some sound, but it was just, we were looking at thermal characteristics, which was a big part of this Program Hunter.
I've also got to say, the color of this rifle, which I know is doesn't really make that much of a difference. Very similar to the SIG Sauer that the US is. I love this new color rifle. I think it's much better than the plain black. I like the matte color to it. I think overall, I think it's a really, really nice looking weapon.
Was thermal characteristics for the suppressor and the weapon, and then we put a sleeve on the outside. So that's just kind of a standard looking suppressor underneath, and then has this sleeve on the outside to reduce the thermal signature.
That's really cool.
And where we ended up with it, for this program, there was an overall length requirement. This is our standard open prong flash hider, QDC flash hider, so that's a legacy part. And so where we ended up with a 13.7 inch barrel.
God, I really wish I was using this in the Royal Marines. I really do. Jeesh.
Really related to the size of this suppressor. So this was about as short as we could make in a suppressor that was effective enough with mainly flash reduction. And then that left us with about 13.7 inches of barrel after we made the shortest suppressor we could. So that's where the barrel length came from. It was actually the base relative to the suppressor length. You'll notice it has a dimpled barrel.
Yep.
I like it.
It has our kind of trademark gas system, sealed gas system.
You have to excuse the audio is a little rough. It looks like he's at this convention trying to get audio, so.
That's fully removable with no taper pins. So that's multi-use, easy to assemble, easy to disassemble. This is our new URX-6, which is the most rigid rail, has the best alignment of any rail that we've produced. And it's in this configuration on this length, it's not as much of an issue, but the URX-6 performs.
It's such a nice rifle. I wonder if there's going to be different variants of this. People will probably let me know in the comment section anyway, but, with the SAAT, you get different variants. Now with this new SIG that the US is adopting, that's got different variants to it now because they've got the shorter version, haven't they? So I wonder if there's going to be variants to this.
Very well.
In fact, there might not be. Sorry, I keep pausing it. There might not be because they're still sticking with the L129, is it? The marksman rifle that I got trained on. They're doing an A2 variant for that now, which I didn't know, which I found out earlier. So that's something we might look at in the future.
With longer hand guards and in 7.62 platform. You can see up there, if David's showing you where the nut is for the gas tube. That's all seals up during firing. You can see the dimples on the barrel there, which is kind of some of Knight's patented weight saving technique that also it doesn't improve accuracy, but it makes accuracy consistent during a heat cycle.
That's really cool.
Rigidity of the
during heat, mainly for heat. Yeah. So compared to fluting is great for removing weight, but when the barrel gets hot, it tends to deflect in a range because the machining of the flutes imparts stresses into that barrel. So URX-6. The upper receiver is pretty standard, other than there is a notch. You can't see that notch, but there's a notch in there on the upper to align that rail with the upper receiver. We've been shipping.
I wonder what scope that is as well. Very interesting. I don't know whether that's the one that comes with the one that's getting issued to the Royal Marines. That's another question as well that we'd have to ask.
Guns commercially with that notch in the upper receiver for a while now. So URX-6 rails would be backwards compatible with some of the guns that are out there if you see the notch in the upper receiver. I think the biggest thing that you're going to see on the lower receiver here is we finally are able to incorporate an ambidextrous both bolt catch and release. And we've had that in the works for a long time, but
God, it's such a cool looking weapon, isn't it? 5.56 right there, SR16. Oh, so it literally says SR16 on it there. So there is a you've got the SR15, the SR16. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the fire rate. But the KS-1 is pretty much just the SR16 then, I'm presuming, with the barrel change, right?
you know, due to stuff that was in our supply chain, this was the first time we were ever really to introduce it. So both the 7.62 and 5.56 guns will all have ambidextrous mag catch and release. Right. And of course, the mag catch has been on the guns for a couple generations now. Yep. The safety select.
I do love that logo. Stoner rifle and that logo there. I think that's really cool.
It's been incorporated since the last model, and it does have, of course, our rounded lug bolt. Yep. And dual ejector.
Nice.
Get it in there. Yeah. Wait, got it.
Yep.
Right there.
So a lot of this is some of this stuff we learned from the 7.62 gun, and now we're incorporating it into a 5.56.
And the rounded lugs are for what purpose?
Rounded lugs really are just stronger, you know, especially when originally when you suppressed a weapon with a high back pressure.
I wonder what the price of these are in America. You're probably looking at. Does anyone know the price in a? Yeah. 3.5 to 4K. That's a lot of money, that, innit? Someone says, man, the Brits are really scoring with this build. Yup, it's bloody time after the SA-80. Yeah. Seriously. If the Brits are getting this, if we're getting this, then that's really, really cool, isn't it? What a great weapon. Vortex AMG, though, is that the... What's the Vortex AMG? AMG, is that the scope? Again, I'm not super clued up on the terminology for some stuff. I'm only just really getting into this type of stuff, which is interesting.
The gun ran harder, and it was just a lot more stresses on that bolt. So by rounding the lugs, we were able to get, you know, in some cases, almost a 50,000 round life cycle on those bolts. So we want to always try to match the life cycle of the bolt to the barrel. And in this case, the Hammer Forged Chrome Line barrel, you're going to see a 25 to 30,000 round kind of life cycle for that, and the bolt's going to last that long.
And then you have an interesting thing with the trigger guard.
Yeah, the trigger guard is interesting. Now, the commercial guns aren't going to have this, but this is an actual KS-1 Select Fire SR16.
Oh, so this is a legit... So even though it does say SR16, this is a KS-1. So this is one that's not going to be commercial. This is what's going to be given to the Royal Marines.
And the requirement came across because we are using an integrated trigger guard. It is a forging, but it's an integrated trigger guard that actually increases the strength of the lower, and we noticed that in our ANSI software. So we incorporate all that. Well, we were offering that to the customer, and they do a lot of cold weather shooting, a lot of cold weather training, and they said, no, we have to have a winter trigger guard, but we remove it. And to me, that was very dangerous. I don't know if you guys have worked on ARs, but I'm sure everyone that has at some point in time broken one of these little ears off trying to install a trigger guard and probably been mad at themselves for a week or two at least after that, or sold the lower or whatever. So I consider that to be a risky situation of having, and also in a fold down trigger guard, you have all that leverage that can break those ears off. So to me, the idea of having this fully removable answered a lot of
yeah, so when they're doing training up in Norway and stuff like that, that's going to be really useful. Again, you're going to have big gloves on. You're going to be, do you know what I mean? Like, there's loads of reasons, but I know that they take the trigger guard off the SA-80 sometimes for that same reason. It's a bit of a worry. I've seen people do it. I wouldn't do it, but I get it. It's a bit of a worry because if you drop the weapon and it's loaded and it's made ready,
you know, a lot of requirements for a true winterized gun. Right. They did a lot of testing in Norway, and you know the Norwegian guys, they really, when it comes to cold weather stuff, that's pretty much their main training ground.
Yeah.
Everybody goes there, and the input that we received from them was fantastic.
Right. And there's a commercial version of this available.
There is a commercial version of this that's going to be coming out soon, and the basic
probably really pricey, like we said, $3.5 to $4,000.
The situation with that is
that's dollars, by the way. So if you are watching it in the UK, you're talking 3.5. You're talking about, you know, about £3,000, $4,000. You're talking about, you know, 3.5, £3,750.
We are building, for our contracts, and as we get extra capacity, we will make products available on the commercial market.
Awesome.
We're not going to pre-sell that, so we can manage the expectations of our customers. Here we are backlogged, or we're some 2 years or more from having taken commercial orders, and we don't want to do that again. So as product becomes available, we'll allocate that to our best dealers and try to deal with this gouging situation where we've seen a gray market evolve for Knight's products. That we don't, of course, that it's happening. You love the fact that customers want your product so much that they're paying more than retail for it. But at the end of the day, our guns are already expensive, and we hate to see them even marked up even more.
At least he's well aware of that, isn't he?
Right.
So we really would like to at least be able to get the guns to the market at the MSRP. At least,
Yeah.
So
Well, very cool. Thank you, Trey. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
This is the KS-1 at SHOT Show 2024, and you are watching DefenseReview.com.
Thanks, Dave.
Great video here, David Crane. Really, really good video. Let's go to the website real quick. DefenseReview.com. I mean, it's not going to have much on there, but let's see if we can find... here's the video that the Forces News put up.
All the other...
Comparison to this. In fact, let's watch a little bit of this first, really, the comparison and stuff like that.
Pretty significant. So if you compare it to the SA-80, it has a collapsible buckstock.
Yeah, it's not a
on the end,
bullpup.
allowing to be adjusted for the firer. The SA-80 is what's called a bullpup design.
Yeah.
Okay, so the magazine sits behind the pistol grip. Okay, so the magazine is in a different place to start with.
Imagine standing around wearing all that gear. You feel like a right knob, wouldn't you?
If you're used to using the SA-80, it will be unusual to them at first, but again, with the
What's he saying there?
safety catches in a different position. Again,
Yeah.
people that are used to the SA-80.
So the Vortex
1
is the
to 10
sight,
times magnification.
and they are getting that sight, which is very interesting.
We've got a Vortex sight, okay, which gives us 1 to 10 times magnification.
Wow.
Which again gives us a lot more flexibility in a single unit. And then at the top we've got an aim point red dot sight, okay, to allow us to engage targets quickly.
Very nice.
And then moving down to the muzzle end of the rifle, we've got a suppressor, okay, which essentially is a signature.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice rifle, isn't it? Let's be honest. I don't think we'd be able to get on the actual website for... In fact, I don't even know if they would have an actual website. Yeah, they do. Knight's Armament. Yes, I'm over the age of 18. There it is. 5.56, weighs 6.88 pounds, length 32.2 inches, 34.2, presuming with the muzzle on it. That's interesting. Is it just, can you click the KS? Oh, KS-1, 2, and 3. Is this the different variants of ammunition size? Nope, that's 5.56. Bit of a longer barrel. What's the difference between these then? Now I'm confused. What's the difference between all these? The KS-1, 2, and 3. Let's have a look if you can see any difference. Like, spot the difference in it. I don't see any difference straight away. I think it's just the rifle size. Still says SR16 on that one. Is that an S? It looks like it says 8R16 on that one. It doesn't look like it says S. That's weird. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just the image. It looks like it's the same picture. Looks like the lengths are a little bit different. 11.5-inch barrel. Yeah, 13.7-inch barrel. So it must be the barrels that are changing right there. Again, it's a nice rifle, isn't it? It's a nice rifle, but you're not gonna get that. The most you're gonna get is the SR15, isn't it? I mean, look at all these different types of SR. I don't know which one is the standard one. CQB, so it's a bit shorter. Let's look at this. Does it have prices on it? Probably not. Nice rifles, though, aren't there? Anyway, we're digressing here. We're talking a bit much. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Is the KS-1 pretty much the same thing as the SR15? If it is, I will go back and watch Garand Thumb's video. This one right here. the best carbine ever made, question mark. I will certainly go back and watch it. Let's see if he's got a bit of a montage at the start real quick, actually. I want to see it in use. Holy, blew me ears out then, didn't it? Jesus. I want to hear him shoot it. Yeah, look, the suppressor's a little bit different. Looks like he's got the vortex sight on it, though. Yeah, I'll watch that if you want me to watch it in the near future. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. It's very interesting that I'm only just getting into this and I've moved country back to the UK. What? Of course that happens, right? I start getting interested in these rifles and all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'm now in a different country. Anyways, there'll be links down below to the original video, the one that was made by David Crane. If you want to go watch that, it'll be down in the description. Please go over there, give him a subscribe. Please go over there and give him a subscribe. I'm talking too fast there, aren't I? But other than that, that's it. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. I really would. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.